Married people, what's the cutest thing your partner did that made you want to marry them again? I've been married to my wife Malia for 9 years, and honestly, the last couple years turned us into roommates who just happened to raise 2 kids together. Between my accounting job, her physical therapy practice, and our boys destroying everything they touched, we barely had time to look at each other. Then Malia had knee surgery last spring, and I became her nurse, cook, and taxi driver on top of everything else. Romance. We were lucky if we stayed awake through a TV show together. My 40th birthday rolled around in October, and Malia said she was too exhausted to plan anything. I told her I didn't care about parties anyway. Turning 40 felt more like a reminder that I was getting old and boring than something to celebrate. The day came, and work dragged on forever. My co-workers got me a grocery store cake, sang off key, and that was it. I drove home expecting pizza and maybe falling asleep on the couch. But when I pulled into the driveway, every light in the house was off. I figured the power went out, but then I saw something glowing on the porch. Little LED lights were stuck to Legos, making a trail across the yard. Our kids loved Legos, so I assumed this was some project they started and abandoned. I followed the lights around the side of the house to our backyard. The trail led straight to our shed, the one I kept saying I'd clean out but never did. The door was cracked open, and warm light spilled out. I pushed it open and froze. The entire shed looked like our old college apartment threw up in there. Band posters I hadn't seen in 15 years covered the walls. My ancient Radiohead shirt from sophomore year hung on a hook. There was even the ugly beanbag chair Malia and I used to fight over during movie nights. A small desk sat in the corner with our old DVD player and a stack of cases. On top was the first movie we ever watched together. Some terrible action film I can't believe she remembered. But what made my throat close up was the journal sitting right in the middle of everything. It had my name written on the cover in Malia's handwriting. I picked it up and opened to the first page. February 14th. You brought me coffee in bed even though you hate waking up early. You remembered I like it with too much cream. I love you for the small things. I flipped through more pages. Dozens of entries. Hundreds of tiny moments I'd completely forgotten or didn't think mattered. April 3rd. You stayed up with Kyle when he had that fever even though you had a morning meeting. You didn't complain once. June 22nd. You fixed my car without telling me because you knew I was stressed about money. August 9th. You grabbed my hand during that scary movie even though you pretend nothing scares you. Every single page was filled with things I did without thinking. Moments I thought disappeared into normal married life, but she'd been writing them down for over a year, watching me, remembering me. I was crying before I finished the second page. Not sad crying, the kind that just happens when something hits you so hard you can't hold it in. Found the time machine, huh? I turned around and Malia was standing in the doorway, knee brace and all, holding a small cardboard box. She limped over and sat on the beanbag, patting the spot next to her. I sat down and she opened the box. Inside were 2 plastic toy rings, the kind you get from quarter machines at the grocery store. She pulled one out and held it up. Want to marry me again, time traveler? I completely lost it, full on sobbing into my hands while she laughed and cried with me. It wasn't about the decorations or the theme or any of that. It was knowing she'd been paying attention this whole time when I thought we'd stopped seeing each other. We sat in that shed for 3 hours.